Hello, my name is Mike Horton. I live at 20414 Hubbard, which is this home right here, and I'm going to try and explain why we are opposed to the Mclaren expansion. This is basically an older aerial view of the area right now. So this is 8 Mile Road, Hubbard, Parker. This is Mclaren's current facility, and this is the area they are trying to expand into, clearly within a residential zone. This is the city's, lot document. So 8 Mile, Hubbard, Parker. Again, this is my home, but you can clearly see there are several homes surrounding this property, and this moves back into the neighborhood. This is the parking rezoning that they are currently trying to build a 3-story, 25 plus foot high, plus 16 feet of light poles on in the near future. In 2010, Mclaren attempted to have that area rezoned for a similar parking structure. The surrounding neighbors opposed it, and we also filed what they call a formal protest. This is the city's document basically acknowledging that protest. So, zoning protest petition, and you'll see down here, enough property owners have signed the petition opposing the proposed amendment. A 3/4 majority of city council was required, or is required. So Mclaren Engines would have needed at least 5 city council people in 2010, the last time they attempted to do this, to get that approval. They felt that they did not have 5 votes on the city council to approve this. So they invited all the surrounding property owners to a little meet and greet at their facility on 8 Mile, and they fed us sandwiches and drinks and laid out a architectural plan of a revised kind of expansion that made less of an impact. So in 2010, Mclaren attempted basically the same thing. The surrounding homeowners filed this document, which is a declaration of a formal protest. You can see where enough property owners signed it. It went to the city, and it would have required a 3/4 council vote. So obviously Mclaren was concerned that they didn't have a 3/4 council vote, so they brought us all in to an informal meeting at their facility and laid this plan out, which was a much smaller plan than they had originally wanted and had considerably less impact on the surrounding neighborhood. You can see here, this is the city's drawing we got from them. It's a little difficult to read, but basically this parking lot was only going to have 48 spots. This area here, which the housing is over here and back here, was going to be a berm with these little dots denote landscaping. So they were going to put large pine trees in there to basically, as kind of a berm with a shield on it, so the homeowners or property owners wouldn't be able to see the parking lot. They were going to tear this. There's a long wall that goes here, and they were going to remove that and build this parking lot. And the city also required them to put a retention pond in. So that all took place in 2010. All the surrounding property owners that had declared the formal protest decided to put this thing to bed once and for all. Where we were going to go ahead and let them build this much smaller one-level parking lot if they agreed to basically stop pursuing these giant expansions on this site, which they did. They went ahead and revised their original plan, and this is the revision, and basically this is what Mclaren turned into the city, and it simply states what they were going to do. And it's to be completed within a reasonable time frame established by the city. So this was in 2010, and based on Mclaren's revised plan, much smaller footprint, the property owners who filed the formal protest withdrew the formal protest and filed that with City Council. But as you can see on this withdrawal, it states on here, Mclaren also stated they would not pursue any further expansion on this site. And this was turned into the city and read aloud at the city council meeting. As a matter of fact, most of the city council members applauded the working together with Mclaren And we're all very happy that instead of this turning into a giant us against them fight, that we worked something out and the city went ahead and approved those plans, or approved the zoning change from residential to parking. So we bargained in good faith with Mclaren, assumed they would do the same thing. This is the city's letter stating that a 3/4 majority of the city council is no longer required. They voted and they rezoned it from residential to parking. Now, 4 years have gone by since 2010 when this original plan came up. They basically put in the retention pond, which we'll show you in a little bit on the video, and didn't do anything else. They put in the berm and the retention pond. They never put in the parking lot. They never took down the wall. They never put any of the landscaping in. This has been over 3 years now. So even though there was considerable effort on their part to get us to drop that formal protest and a revision of their original plans, in the end they didn't do any of it. And 4 years later, they resubmit with the city this plan. This is difficult to read, but this is the copy the city gave us. This is basically that area that was rezoned. So you can see here, this is residential. All this is residential. This property here was a home residential, which Mclaren purchased that lot and tore it down. It's currently zoned residential. I don't think they intend to build any houses on it. So I'm sure in no time at all, they'll be trying to get that rezoned as well. They're trying to make a 3-story parking structure with a catwalk that will go to a much larger building that they want to build on this site. They want to demolish, they purchased this building, they want to demolish this building, connect these two. This is parking right now, but when they connect these two buildings, that will eliminate all that parking. So not only are they making their footprint much bigger, trying to bring more people in, they're eliminating the parking that they currently have, so now they want to put this monstrosity up. Now clearly, you know, these are homes here. This is less than 75 feet, this is less than 50 feet. This is a 3-story parking garage, over 25 feet high, that will have 15 to 16 foot light poles on top of it. So their original plan for a 48 spot ground level parking lot with a landscaped screen all the way around this field that they told us they would put in and not ask for any more if we would drop our formal protest, this is what they came back with. So based on this information, at the very least, Mclaren and Linamar bargained in bad faith. At the worst, they just out and out lied to us. This is why we're opposed to this entire expansion. Any of the surrounding neighborhood is going to be severely impacted if they choose to basically spread this commercial building and area back into a residential neighborhood. Now we'll show you some video of how it looks now, so you can get some perspective on how close all these homeowners are to this monstrosity that they want to build. Okay, here's how the property looks currently. This is April 6th, 2014. This is the area that they want to build the 3-story parking garage. The area directly in front of you are the two buildings they want to basically turn into one. So they're going to demolish that one and make this one big continuous building. And they want to put a 3-story above ground sidewalk to get from what is essentially this area right now to that new facility. As you can see, I'm standing on the corner of where this parking garage would end. So that's how close it would be to all of these homes. This is the retention pond they put in. I'm standing kind of on the berm they put in. As you can see, they never put in the parking lot that they agreed to. They never took down the wall, and they never planted any of the landscaping that the original plan required. And that parking structure, although we're a little ways away from that building is 35 feet high or something. That parking structure will be taller by 10 feet than that building we're looking at right now. So that's how it looks today. Nowhere close to all the things they were supposed to do, and now they come back with a giant parking structure. Their reasoning for wanting to build this giant parking structure, and their reason they gave us for not following through with their original agreement, was that they've just grown too fast, so they need this space. So my question is, what's to stop them in 5 years from now or 8 years from now outgrowing this facility and moving, which is what they're going to have to do someday anyway, because they are literally out of space. So they're going to move out, and what we're going to be left with is this giant monstrosity that nobody else is going to want to rent. So you're just going to have an empty building with a 3-story galvanized steel and wire mesh parking structure. I don't know how anyone that's even remotely reasonable in city planning could call this a good idea. Thank you.